Greetings and welcome back to those of you who've been following the series, either in person or by watching the replays, and a warm welcome if it's your very first time joining. This is Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers, and I'm William Craig III, a professional career coach, also known sometimes as the Career Transition Guy. But hey, I've got a clear mission for this series to help you move beyond overwhelm and into action. The fact is, the people who put out those resources with hundreds of AI prompts, you've seen them. Hey, they're well meaning, but too many prompts can actually cause paralyzation. That's right, they paralyze you. You don't do anything. So instead, I focused on giving you just one powerful, practical prompt each and every day. And my goal is real simple to help you run your job search, your job campaign, however you refer to it, with clarity, with confidence, and strategy, using AI as your assistant and not your replacement. And as always, we're going to be building on the momentum that we've already started with our fictitious job candidate, Miss Mary Matt. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing great. It's a lovely day in the neighborhood. And just so you know, once again, our sponsor, Protect Little Lungs, protect the child that you love today. Go to protectlittlelungs.com. Did you know the summertime is when the germs really kind of have their way with young people? And then unfortunately, the germs can get to the spread to the older people. I know, I've been there, done that. It's not pretty. So anyway, go to protectlittlelungs.com and protect a child that you love today. All right, let's get right into this because I'm not going to be with you long. As always, these are, let's see, one prompt a day that are moving us further and further into our job search and closer to hopefully actually getting hired. So I'm going to share my screen here and get my best friend ChatGPT on the stage, and I will move out of the way so that you can see that. And so we did a lot of work yesterday, actually, in helping Mary to learn more about how to use AI and how to add it to her resume, how to add it to her LinkedIn profile. We gave her some places where she could go to find legitimate, credible AI training. And so that was great. But today's prompt, we take it a little bit deeper. And we see here that Mary needs to sharpen her digital skills, create a 30-day action plan with practical milestones for improving proficiency in Microsoft Office, Slack, Zoom, and Google Workspace. So we know that AI is the most coveted skill that employers are looking for today. And we talked about that. You got to know not just how to play around with it, but how to utilize it to apply to the role that you have. How can you use it to be more efficient? How can you use it to be more productive? How can you use it to be more profitable in your job role? But here we're talking about things like Microsoft Office. And as I talk with people, I am continually surprised to find out that people don't have, for example, Excel skills. And Excel is a robust tool. I'm not going to go into it. I've talked about that in the past, but there's so much that one can do with Excel. Microsoft Word, most folks are accustomed to using Word, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of a lot of functions. That's it. A lot of functionality that even Word has today that it didn't have 10 years ago. And for a lot of the folks that I'm working with that are older, they're not familiar with the changes in the program. So creating a simple document or knowing how to use some of the tools on the ribbon is a challenge. All right. Then there's PowerPoint, of course. PowerPoint has come a long way. And yes, there are AI tools out there that are actually competitors to PowerPoint these days, like Gamma. But bottom line is something basic, something simple like PowerPoint, creating a PowerPoint show, adding animation, things of this nature it's very easy to do. Also, Slack, which is a collaboration tool that many companies use today. You want to make sure that you know how to communicate with others using the tools that companies use to communicate. And so, Zoom, of course, is one of those tools that we're talking about for presentations beyond. Okay. So many people do work remotely, or if you're meeting with clients or customers remotely. So maybe you're in the office, but they're somewhere else. You got to know how to use tools like Zoom. You do know that Skype is going away, right? If it hasn't gone away already, Skype is on the way out, being phased out. And then Google Workspace, which came basically as a mirror to the Microsoft Office suite. It was called G Suite, but now it is called Google Workspace. And so you've got your Google Docs and your Google Sheets, et cetera, and Google Slides. So all of these are basics, and it's going to help you to advance your career when you've got a handle on how to utilize these various applications and platforms. So in this case, Mary says, hey, I want to sharpen my digital skills, but I need an action plan. And what we're doing here is we're creating a roadmap to close the skills gap for Mary. All right. We're creating a roadmap to close the skills gap. If you've got skills gaps, you're looking at job announcements, job vacancy announcements, job descriptions, and you're seeing that they want this, that, or the other. You've got to create a roadmap to help you close those gaps so that you are qualified for those positions. So here, let's see what ChatGPT has to say about how Mary can get on the path to closing the skills gap. So here we go. Absolutely. Here's a 30-day digital skills action plan for Mary to sharpen her proficiency in Microsoft Office, Slack, Zoom, and Google Workspace, broken down into weekly goals, daily actions, and milestones to track her growth. And I love this because I wasn't as descriptive as that to say, we just said 30-day, but it's giving us weekly goals and daily actions and milestones. So let's see what that looks like. All right, Mary's 30-day digital skills action plan. Week 1, focus area, Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, and Outlook. And of course, Outlook, excuse me, is their email program, the application. The goal here is to build comfort with formatting, formulas, and inbox management. Did you know that you can, there's so many settings in Outlook, for example, that you can clean up a messy inbox really quickly and get it to stay that way by utilizing the management tools within Outlook. Week 2, Google Workspace, Docs, Sheets, Drive, and Gmail. Forgot to mention Google Drive, really cool tool. You learn cloud-based collaboration and file organization. Week 3, Zoom and Slack, gain fluency with video conferencing and professional team communication. And then with week 4, we're going to go into integration in real life scenarios, practice multi-tool workflows, and showcase skills confidently. I love it. All right, so let's look at what week 1 looks like. Microsoft Office Mastery. And again, the goal here is for Mary to be able to confidently use Word, Excel, and Outlook for administrative and finance tasks. And this is, again, the beauty of this is once you have actually put your resume, for example, into chat, now everything that it's doing as you're using these prompts, it's customizing this information based on your profession, based on what you're going to be doing in your role. So on day 1, she's going to watch an intro to Microsoft Word, either on LinkedIn Learning or YouTube. Last time we talked about going to your local library, getting a library card, and accessing LinkedIn Learning for free. Day 2, Practice formatting, bold, headers, tables, bullet lists. Day 3, learn Outlook basics, creating those folders that I was talking about to help keep things neat. Scheduling, search filters. Day 4, watch Excel for beginners video and open a blank spreadsheet, again, where LinkedIn Learning or YouTube. Practice formulas, sum, average, if, and V lookup. Again, these are all within Excel. And these are basics, but you got to spend some time with it. And I know some people say, oh, Excel is too complicated. It's not complicated, it's just new. All right, I'm gonna say that again. It's not complicated, it's just new. It's just like with this StreamYard platform. And, I had a couple of friends show me how they were utilizing it. And I'm going, wow, there are a lot of moving pieces. And now I know how to set everything up and get it going so that I know which buttons to push when. And it's a piece of cake. So it wasn't so much that it was so difficult, it was just new. All right. Day 6, format a mock invoice or budget in Excel. Very cool for her. Day 7, create a mini email filing system in Outlook using rules or categories. Notice that we get no days off, huh? 7 days a week. And I tell people all the time when I'm working with them and they have a skills gap, I tell them, your new part-time job is closing that skills gap. That's your new part-time job. Your full-time job is to find a job that you can campaign for. And then the next piece is to close that skills gap. So here's the milestone. Create a one-page invoice in Word and a basic budget spreadsheet in Excel. So after the first 7 days, that's what Mary should be able to do. All right, let's move on to week 2, Google Workspace fluency. The goal here is to be able to collaborate confidently using Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drive, and Gmail. So here we go. We're in our second week, day 1 or day 8 total. Watch Google Docs 101 tutorial. Create and share a doc. Practice on day 9, editing, comments, suggesting mode, and version history. Day 10, open Google Sheets and replicate Excel formulas from week 1. Here we go. Learn Gmail labels, filters, and schedule send. Oh my gosh. Outlook and Gmail with the schedule send is so cool because you can literally sit down and say, okay, I need to send this information or get information tomorrow for someone or to someone. And guess what? You can sit down today, actually draft out what you want, and then schedule it to go out the next day or schedule it to go out overnight. Especially if you know you're going to be traveling, you can sit down and you can schedule the things that need to be communicated while, let's say, you're in the air or on the road or out of range, however it may be for you. But such a cool feature. All right, organizing files, day 12, into Google Drive folders. Day 13, practice uploading and converting Word, Excel information to Google formats. And that's really cool to be able to know how to go back and forth between the two. And they're very similar, quite honestly. Share a folder with test permissions, view, comment, and edit. In other words, you can actually assign permissions to others with regards to documents that you are working on. This is part of the whole concept of collaboration. So, and this is what people miss sometimes when you see things like competencies like collaboration on a job description, and you just think it's being able to work together. Well, it is being able to work together, but in different ways. Even digitally, you need to know how to be able to work with others. And so again, knowing how to set permissions on folders or documents is very important. So here's the milestone for week 2. Create and share a project folder with at least 2 files, a doc and a sheet. All right, moving on. Week 3, we're almost done. Zoom and Slack confidence. Host a Zoom call and use Slack to communicate clearly in a work setting. So here we go. On Monday, we'll call it, well, actually Sunday, watch Zoom Basics tutorial, download desktop app. Day 16, practice hosting a Zoom meeting with screen sharing. Day 17, explore breakout rooms in meeting chat and in meeting chat tools. And you can create settings that will dictate how these breakout rooms and these chat tools are used in each and every meeting going forward. Sign up for Slack, free team or demo server. Learn channels, direct mails, emoji reactions, and slash commands. Day 20, practice sharing a file in Slack and tagging somebody. Customize Slack notifications and status message. All right. And again, all of these are collaboration methods that will show that you know your stuff. And why is this important? Because when you're looking to get a job in this 21st century marketplace, these are the tools that are being used. And you need to have at least a familiarity before you are applying for these positions. Because if somebody asks you if you know how to do something and you tell them and then you get to the job and you can't do it, they will have no problem letting you go. I'm just going to tell you now. All right, that's the way it works. So the milestone for this week, host a Zoom meeting, and it could be with a friend or a family member. Send a structured message in Slack with a file and an at mention so that you're actually calling out somebody else that you want to identify for that communication. So here we're finishing up with week 4. And this is integration and real life application. The goal here is to simulate real workflows and tie these tools together. So day 22 already. Oh my goodness, time flies when you're having fun. Create a simple project. Track job applications across Excel and Google Drive. That's a very, very, very helpful tool set right there. Excel and Google Drive to track your job applications. That's very cool. And again, how are you figuring these things out? You're going through the learning. Okay. You're actually learning by doing. That's how most people learn best anyway. Day 23, you're going to share the file by way of Gmail and Slack with a note. You're going to draft a follow-up email on day 24 in both Outlook and Gmail using templates. You're going to create some templates. That's cool. Day 25, use Zoom to present your job tracker to a friend or a mentor. 26, record a 1-minute Zoom intro video and review the playback. I'm surprised that it hasn't talked about utilizing the assistants so that you get a summary at the end of your Zoom call, which is always very cool and very impressive. My clients are always very impressed. At the end of our meetings, they get an automated summary of our entire session together. Day 27, archive old emails in both Outlook and Gmail. Remember I was talking about cleaning up that messy inbox? Well, using the archive feature can do that. Day 28, reflect. What tools felt intuitive and where do you want more practice? Day 29, revisit your week 1 through 3 milestone tasks and polish them because you should be getting better now with the tools. And then day 30, celebrate. Come on now, celebrate your progress. Update your resume and your LinkedIn with the words proficient in. And now you can add some things to that list. And then the milestone here is run a full workflow, create, share, communicate, and follow up using at least 3 of the tools. And then Chad is asking, would you like this converted into a printable PDF or digital tracker so Mary can check off tasks as she goes? And that's very cool. And we're not going to do that. I mean, that's a real simple thing. And I would probably go for the digital tracker. But again, our goal today was what? To create a roadmap to close the skills gaps. And so we started off by asking ChatGPT to help Miss Mary Mack, to sharpen her digital skills by creating a 30-day action plan with practical milestones for her to be able to improve her efficiency in Microsoft Office, Slack, and in Zoom. And so, again, these are the things that I'm sharing with you. Why? To help make you better. And at the end of the day, if you will put these things into practice, what you will find is your confidence level is going to be boosted. Many of you don't do well in your interviews because you lack confidence. And the reason you lack confidence is because you really don't have the skill sets, or at least you're not proficient in the skill sets that you need so that you can go into that interview and talk about and literally talk about what you're able to do. And that's what it takes. When you're able to talk about what you can do, there's a confidence level that you have that it just goes through the roof. So that's why I'm sharing this prompt today, because I know the more confident you are in an interview, the more likely it is that you're actually going to get that job. And the more skills you have, the more confident you're going to be. All right. I hope this has been a blessing to you. If you want my free guide, the 3 things that employers expect you to know but won't tell you, go to careertransitionsecrets.com. That's careertransitionsecrets.com. You want to watch the replay? Feel free to go to my LinkedIn profile, William W. Craig 3. That's the number 3. And go to events, or you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Get Up and Get a Job. Again, I hope this has been a benefit to you. Feel free to reach out and let me know what you'd like to see, how I can improve. I'm here for you, so let me know. But in the meantime, in between time, stay safe in all you do. God bless. Bye-bye, everybody.